We are now in a state of emergency, and according to experts, they are reporting that millions of Americans are about to be stranded. Now, I want to break down what's going on and why this new hurricane, Hurricane Milton, is actually going to cause more disruption than any other hurricane before. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So experts are now telling us that Hurricane Milton might cause more disaster and more loss of life than what we saw with the past hurricane, Hurricane Helene. That we saw about $34 billion in losses. $34 billion. And obviously we saw a lot of loss of life. There's still people that are being searched for. But I want to show you this. Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency for Hurricane Milton. Now, what exactly does that mean, and how is this going to help? Well, we'll address that in just a moment. But look at this. Hurricane Milton has now strengthened into a Category 5 hurricane as Florida is beginning their evacuations. Now, I talked about this earlier on today, and I said it is currently a Category 5 hurricane. But according to research, according to all the reports that we're seeing, this could actually be downgraded from a Category 5 to a Category 3 by the time it makes landfall. However, this, even though it's going to be less intense, so the wind speed's going to be a little bit slower, it's still going to be pretty fast, but the hurricane is actually going to be wider. It's going to hit more area. Now, this is a huge, huge story, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention now, is because experts have been telling us millions of people in Florida and the surrounding area could be stranded. Look at this right here. These are just people on Twitter or X. It says, gas stations in Lakeland, Florida right now are mostly out of gas. We were lucky enough to find a gas station with some gas, but there are 2 different lines to get in here, so it's full of people. Get your supplies today. I wouldn't count on things being very available tomorrow. This person says, pray the gas pump doesn't run out. I've been to 5 gas stations and waited in line for 30 minutes to get this pump. This person says, Milton, my oldest, lives in Florida, so this is hard. He lives in Gainesville and says that I-75 is already packed and so are the gas stations. Travel safe, everyone. And then, alert hearing from a reliable source that Florida residents on the Gulf Coast who are evacuating to the north on I-75 are finding no fuel. Nearly all gas stations wiped out. Vehicles will soon be stalled on the interstate, blocking evacuations, already bumper-to-bumper traffic. Yeah, that's what we're seeing. Now, we have seen so many different reports over the past, several hours, but the main thing you need to understand is that this is exactly what's going on. This is what we're facing. And look at this. Okay, I want to show you this one as well. It says today, 2 gas stations were sold out of gas in Central Florida. That was almost a day ago. Okay, that was yesterday. I finally found a racetrack gas station that had fuel. Everyone was filling gas cans. It's a shopping frenzy. I tried getting groceries, and there was a 30-minute wait to find a parking spot. Yeah, that's what we're facing. People are struggling to get out. Number one, they're trying to evacuate because that is what experts are telling them to do. But, and again, let me show you this, okay? This right here, this is just from yesterday, okay? Let me go back so you can see it, okay? Look at this video right here. You can see in just a second. This is what's going on. Stores are empty. There's nothing. People are trying to get food in their homes just in case they get locked in, okay, in case they're stuck. And again, I want to bring this to your attention because for all those people that went through Hurricane Helene, for all those people that stayed in Florida, or stayed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, wherever, stayed in the path of Hurricane Helene, for all you guys that did that and you made it through and you were safe, right? You may have seen some, there might have been some issues. You might have lost some of your property or goods or whatever. But as long as you didn't lose your life. For those people that made it through, maybe you're thinking, this isn't worth it. I got to get out of here. Because according to experts now, they're telling us not only should you evacuate any coastal area, but evacuate any areas that are close to a stream, a river, a lake. Get out, because those places could be flooded soon as well. Now, here's why so many people are talking about this. Okay, number one, this is going to be one of the biggest hurricanes that we see this year, according to experts. They say that in the past hurricanes that we've seen, and the last one where people are really trying to differentiate between the two of these is Hurricane Irma. I believe that was back in 2017. Well, during Hurricane Irma, and I remember this pretty vividly, where cars were stuck on the side of the road. They just ran out of gas. They were driving and driving, trying to get as far north as they could, trying to get inland. And they went north. Well, the problem with just going north in Florida is, depending on where you're at in the state, but you are likely going to be ending up in Georgia, in South Carolina, in North Carolina, which North Carolina, they're not doing well right now either. I believe there's like over 1 million people without power in that state, because again, they're struggling because of the past hurricane. But what we're hearing now is that back in 2017 with Hurricane Irma, people were reporting gas stations were running out of fuel. Back then, they were having to try to truck in more fuel just so that people could get out. But then the truck drivers, again, then they had issues because now they're trying to drive a big old truck out of Florida. And for many of them, it didn't work. And so right now, that's the big discussion, is how do they get people out of the state if they can't get fuel into the state? And it comes with a heavy price with electric vehicles too, because many of them are stuck on the side of the road. Because people are just lining up, trying to get their cars just charged. The issue there is, according to a few reports that I saw earlier on this morning, is that you were seeing some rolling blackouts where the grid was just overrun, right? It wasn't working because there's too many people trying to use electricity to get out. So it's interesting what's happening right now. I did read this report just this morning as well. Thought this was interesting, wanted to add it, where it says nearly 1/3 of young adults say Hurricane Helene has made them reconsider where they want to live in the future. According to this report, 32% of U.S. residents aged 18 to 34 say they're reconsidering where they want to move in the future because of the damage caused by Hurricane Helene. That compares to people that are over the age of 35, about 15% are going to reconsider that. But look at this one. This is something that's going to impact every single one of us. It says disaster risk and rising home insurance premiums. Here's a problem. As we see additional disasters, natural disasters, whether it's a fire, a hurricane, a flood, tornado, doesn't matter. As we see more and more of these, the issue that we're going to face is we are going to see insurance premiums rise across the nation. Because again, a lot of these companies that are facing these these issues, it could be State Farm, it could be Allstate, it could be anyone, right? But some of these bigger ones, they're national brands. So they aren't just going to raise the prices for people in Florida. Yes, they're going to raise the prices for people in Florida, obviously, to cover their losses. But at the same time, they're going to raise the prices for everybody else in order to make it seem like it is not going up so much in one specific state, like California or Florida. So we're going to see what happens there. But I just wanted to share this with you. And the main thing behind this video is if I can help just one person. If one person just realized that, you know what, I can't wait until Wednesday morning to leave the state because number one, the highway may be packed. Number two, there may be no fuel. If I can help just one person, that's it, then I did my job. So that is what I have for you guys today. Again, thank you guys for watching. Stay safe. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.